Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about what it means when we have Moon in Aries in the first house for Aries Ascendant. So if you have this position, that means that you have Moon conjunct your Ascendant, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, before we get into all the details regarding that placement and everything that correlates with it, please go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. That's Gebo theshaman.com, and purchase a astrology reading. I have those on sale, as well as my astrology certificate course. So if you want to become a Vedic astrologer, I have a course that will teach you astrology and everything that you need to know with that course. So go check those things out, and of course you can see all my products, services, and courses up here. And yeah, the links are down below as well. gebotheshaman.com. Alright, so Moon in Aries in the first house. So this is a lot of information going on. We have three factors at play. We have the Moon, we have Aries, we have the first house. Right? So we need to break it down into smaller parts to digest it and understand what's going on with it. So, Moon. What is the Moon? The Moon is the mind. The Moon is the mother. The Moon is how you think and feel about things. It's your emotions, your feelings, your nurturing part, your pertains to motherly love, things like that. The way that a mother loves you, and attunement to your emotions and things like that. So, Moon rules Cancer, which is in your fourth house, as does Jupiter. So today we're talking about the Moon in the first house. So what does the first house mean? The first house, also called the ascendant or the rising sign. The first house is the point. The ascendant and rising sign is the point at which the Earth connects with the constellations as they're rising, which is rising sign, in the east at the time of your birth. So just like the sun rises above the horizon, so does the constellations, like Aries. So if you're born with an Aries ascendant, then that means that, well, first of all, ascendant, it correlates to the physical body. It's the perspective, the lens through which you see life. It is it's tied to your, it sets the stage for your whole chart, your whole astrology chart. That's what it is. It's the stage. So when people in Western astrology look at their sun sign, or look at, their tropical zodiac sun sign as a factor of their personality, that's not really accurate, because the ascendant is the personhood, the personality, and the moon sign is the way that you think. So having these in alignment means that you won't have much of a questioning of yourself. So before we get into jumping into how these correspondences connect, we talk about Aries for a second. So what is Aries? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac corresponding to the first house. So this means if you have Aries ascendant, it is the natural first house of the zodiac, so that is a beneficial position already. Aries is the warrior. Aries is the fighter. Aries wants to go and conquer and be physical, work out, do physical, be, physically fit, physical competition, physical aggression, sports, competition, things like that. Aries is typically masculine nature. Whereas, like, if you look at Libra, that's typically a more feminine kind of energy. And Libra is the exact opposite to Aries. It's the 7th from Aries, meaning it's the exact opposite. So Aries is the warrior. Aries has to do with the physical body, the muscles, the blood, the veins, the, testosterone, masculine energy, things like that. It's physically it corresponds to the head. So the head being a leader, being the person in charge, being an authoritarian, things like that. And when I say that authoritarian, I don't necessarily mean it in a bad connotation. Certainly, there have been authoritarians that have been abusive with that power. However, there have been others that use that power as a way to accomplish goals and not like step on other people's necks, that kind of stuff. So what does Aries in the first house with the moon here mean? Moon and Aries in the first house. Well, so what I'll say is the way you think is very aligned with who you are. And when I say that, that might seem like an esoteric or just a foreign concept to you guys. But what I mean is congruent thinking. It's you have a very strong personality with Aries in the first house as your ascendant, and you have a very sharp mind, a very strong mind. So both of these forces, your physical body, your perception of the world, is aligning with your thinking, your feelings. Your thinking and your feelings are aligned. So your perceptions and your feelings are aligned. So there's not much distortions. So for example, let's say you had a person who had their ascendant, but their moon is in the 7th house. Totally opposite. Their mind would be trying to, oh, let's have peace. Let's, just have world peace. And their body would be like, I want to compete. I want to, because Libra is all about peace and harmony, whereas Aries is like, I want to kill, conquer, I want to accomplish the goal, I want to accomplish the mission, I want to go fight for something. And you have a mind, if you had the mind opposing your perspective, your mind would work against you. So that's what I mean. So your mind in Libra would be, oh, let's have peace, let's, connect, let's work together, work in harmony, and a big part of you would be fighting against that, wanting to fight with other people, and not necessarily in a bad way either, just a competition, but then your mind might be judging you, saying, oh, that's not a good thing to do, kind of things like that. And so when you have this position it can make someone like Hitler. When you have, and I'm not saying that everyone's going to be like this, of course. You have planets in other signs, in other houses, in other positions that will give this energy, maybe aspecting it, that'll give this energy a different feel. A Mercury aspect to this, for example, would make you a strong communicator. Things like that. A Venus opposing your moon would make you want to have those cushy, like, kind, reciprocal, cooperative relationships kind of things. But yeah, for this position, the mind is active. The mind is sharp. And the reason that I said, oh, this could make a Hitler placement kind of thing, was that Hitler had majority of his planets in Aries. That's the only reason. And so you see how Aries manifests. It's, he wanted to go to war with the world and conquer and, all that stuff. So that's how it manifests. So with the moon here, I can already tell you, moon corresponds to your mother. And there might 99% chance, well, I'll say 90 just to be more fair. 90% chance your mother was abusive somehow, either physically, emotionally, mentally abusive somehow. Conversely, the positive side of that, oh yeah, and with it, like, your mother could have been, like, competitive against you as well. But the positive side of moon in Aries is, well, your mom could have helped you, like, be competitive in sports. Like, your mom could have been, like, a coach, or, someone who, like, worked with you to compete in sports or things like that. And, may have challenged you. But there's also this thing for, like, aggressiveness and, like authoritarianism kind of thing, where if you're not if you're not, like, living up to a certain standard, your mom could get pretty angry at you, kind of thing. So, but yeah, this combination makes for, of course you'd have to look at other things in your chart, but yeah, it makes a great communicator, because you're very much in alignment with your feelings and your thinking and things like that. And by the way, when I say the moon is your mind, I don't mean your intellect, your thinking, your, mathematics, how good you are at, quantum, trigonometry or things like that. No, when I say your mind, the moon is your mind, I mean it's your feelings, it's your thoughts, it's the heart mind, the emotional mind. And so this can make someone, on the other hand, this can make someone a very impulsive, very, compulsive, quick to judge, quick to act, quick to make assumptions and decisions, and it would be like thinking without acting, or sorry, other way around, acting without thinking, kind of things like that. And so the moon here is aspecting your 7th house. And that can have an effect on your relationships. The moon aspect in the 7th house, of course, it's almost like you can be a great leader. You can have be leadership material for sure, especially in a relationship and a marriage. But as far as marriage goes, you might find yourself like being triggered by your spouse, and typically, your husband, your wife, whatever it is, so when we have this placement, the moon sign aspects the 7th house, and that can have an effect on that. Like, for example, like your spouse, typically, like, let's say your boss or your coworkers do something to upset you, and you just brush it out. You just brush it off your shoulder, because it's not affecting the moon. It's not affecting the mind, the feelings, things like that. So you just brush those things off your shoulder, typically. But the spouse has a special way of getting to us emotionally. And there tends to be, with the moon in Aries, there's like anger, aggression, hostility, things like that. So the key here is to communicate with your spouse. Communicate and talk it out, and even 12 steps, the 12 steps, working those consistently can calm the mind down. Another thing with this position, someone can be an overthinker, like just like their mind can always just be going, like even, this can make someone a highly driven individual, highly driven to accomplish things and make things happen in business and whatever. But even like in physical fitness, in those kinds of things. However, with this, like, even when you're resting, and everybody needs to rest from time to time, even when you're resting, you'll be plotting, you'll be thinking about things, strategizing. It's like your mind can't shut down. It's like your mind can't rest. So you're thinking 24/7 kind of things. And again, so something that I really wanted to mention when we're talking about these moon signs throughout the houses, wherever your moon sign is, it is, it's really important to look at how much light it's receiving at the time of birth. Because if it's a new moon, boy, that's a dark moon. That's going to be more negative. That's going to be more prone to depression, prone to things like that. And it's much harder, much harsher than a full moon. Full moon is receiving the full light of the sun, the light of the soul. And so what the moon does is it reflects the light of the soul. The feelings, the thinking, the thoughts and feelings, things like that, reflect that. And it's interesting because, like, I found that a person's mental state, mental health will often depend on the strength of the moon, or like the amount of light that's hitting the moon. So if it's a little bit or none, then that person is prone to depression and things like that. If it's a full moon, then it's fully, it's like almost like a battery, almost. When you have a full battery, then you have more energy to do things. But if you have an empty battery, a new moon, or like a dark moon, then it's going to be more prone to the lower aspects: depression, anxiety, self-harm, things like that. And of course there's remedies. There's remedies for everything. Remedy for the moon would be doing a Shiva mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, or even the Triambaka mantra. So I have the Triambakam mantra on my channel where I recite it, and I have it written, so you can look that up. That's called, I'll spell it out for you, Tryambakam mantra, mantra. I think I spelled that right. But anyway, yeah, mantras are especially good for the moon. Really good for the moon. They affect the moon especially well. Have a profound effect on any negative moon placement. You'll find that. So what you want to do is have a mantra. And if you want your own specialized personal mantra, then I can prescribe you, I can give you a remedy. You go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. That's GEBO, theshaman.com. And there you'll find an astrology reading. You can either do just the reading itself, or you can include a 1-hour consultation with me. Those options are available on my website, gebotheshaman.com. Go book your session with me today. So yeah, if your moon is affected like that, then you're definitely going to want to get a mantra of some kind to help it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I am pretty much done, so let me check out my time here. Wow, we did a long time on that one. That was not expected. Well, I very much appreciate you guys, and if you guys want a astrology reading, please go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. gebotheshaman.com. GEBO theshaman.com. And of course I have my courses, services, everything. You can see my Qigong courses here. And I have my astrology certification course available on my website again. And, astrology readings, birth time rectification even, and all kinds of services to offer. So go check that out, and we will talk to you next time. Oh yeah, click that like button if you like this video, and go ahead and share it if you liked it. Somebody may find it helpful on Facebook or with your friends or whatever. It's always good to share these videos because someone might find them helpful. And yeah, so other than that, go ahead and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And other than that, we will talk to you next time. So take care, everyone. Peace.